Charlie Kirk said black men like you were better off during slavery. Do you agree with him?
Now listen, 100%.
You believe 100%?
Now what? Wait,
You were
after
better off
slavery. Let
So
me
you're
explain,
saying
because
you would
maybe
be
you don't
better
know
off
black history.
during slavery?
No. You don't understand black history, and you don't understand what Charlie was saying. Listen, after slavery, there was an explosion of success in the black community. We had Black Wall Street. We were married to the women we had children with. Black people had a tremendous amount of success. Our success was growing faster than white people during that period of time. Now look at us. Now go look at any inner city in this country, and you see people getting murdered every weekend. The leading cause of murders in this country is by black people. Violent crimes, black people.
Let me tell you something. Tatum represents the sellout of all sellouts. I challenge Tatum to have a conversation with me now, because I will obliterate him on it. What he's saying is that it's better when we were policed by white people because we can't police ourselves. But then he said we had the greatest cities, education, and marriage after we were free from that police or free from that slave master. What he's not talking about is the Jim Crow, the barrel of laughs, the integration that we tried to do that was a failure, the constant attacks by white people to black people, Planned Parenthood, redlining, all the things that the white man put in place to destroy black people because we were free. And when you oppress a people, the Bible says oppression make a wise man mad. And because we're an oppressed people, now he wants to make it seem like it's our fault. But when we were separated and allowed to build without the slave master over our back, we built the greatest cities. And really the white man was jealous. If Tatum had heart, he would have said the white man's jealousy continued white supremacy. But he won't say that.
Hey, what's good? So, listen, Officer Brandon Tatum, you are showing your true colors. And I'm not talking about the colors on the outside of your skin. I'm talking about you showing your true internal colors. You are obviously on the other side, on the other team. You are playing a dangerous game, brother. I can tell you that right now. You're playing a very dangerous game. I know you work for Turning Point. I know you work for Charlie Kirk and Turning Point. That's no secret. Everybody knows that. But, brother, you are playing a very dangerous game. And I can assure you it's not going to turn out well for you. So what you might want to do at this point is just stand back. Stand back and wait for the facts.
Yo, who the fuck is Officer Tatum? I think somebody is literally paying that man to say the shit he's saying. Cause ain't no way, bro. Y'all gotta stop this shit, man. For real. Like, this man came out of nowhere. Since the Nolan Wells situation started, all of a sudden now there's a nigga named Officer Tatum that's all over the place trying to sway the minds of everybody to say that he's basically trying to make it seem like everybody's innocent who was involved with Nolan Wells, and he's going to try to sway the minds of people to make it look like Nolan Wells did it himself. It's all his fault. We need to stop blaming the people he was with. It's not them, it was him. At the end of this whole situation, he's going to try to make everybody put the blame on Nolan Wells and say that Nolan Wells caused his own death. Because who is this nigga? Yo, the nigga came out of nowhere. It's like they just dropped him out the sky, said, here, sway the minds of everybody and make everybody put the blame on Nolan Wells. Like, are we not seeing this shit? Where he came from? Where did he come from? He was not a part of this whole situation since the shit started, and he just came out of nowhere now doing interviews with the friends of Nolan Wells, trying to, like, what is he trying to do? From what I've seen with all the stuff that's going on with him, everything with him so far is making it out to look like everybody's innocent and it was all Nolan Wells' fault. But I mean, that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. Anytime there's a situation where a colored person loses their life to somebody else that's non-colored, that's somebody that's white or something, they always do that. They do that all the time. They always try to put the blame on the black person and make it seem like he was the one responsible for his own death. They do that shit all the time. They did it with George Floyd. They do it with Trayvon Martin. They do it all the time.
Maybe you didn't know what happened. The internet is completely losing its mind over this headline right now. Conservative commentator and the former cop Brandon Tatum went on Jubilee, surrounded the panel, and the massive shouting match broke out after question was dropped whether black American were better off during slavery. Tatum immediately responds 100%. But what actually happened? Next, let's break down what really meant and why people are feeling back. So here is the breakdown during a heated debate. So with 20 black tribal participants brought up controversial talking point and asked Tatum if he agreed with it. He didn't state. Tatum said yes, which instant caused the entire room to erupt in anger. But Tatum quickly stopped the crosstalk to clarify his point. What he do is he argued that people completely misunderstood what he meant. According to Tatum, wasn't present the slavery itself. Instead, he pointing to the period immediately following slavery in the 19th and 20th century. He claimed that during a specific post-slavery era, the black community had incredibly high marriage rate, strong nuclear family, and a massive economic success story like Black Wall Street. He argued that the community that trajectory was actually stronger than what we see in many struggling modern neighborhoods today. However, critics are feeling back hard. They argue that minimizing the horror of chattel slavery is completely wrong and that you cannot compare modern economic struggle to an era of rebel human argue. So here's the thing. So before we jump into quick, let's give you a shout out to all original creators of TikTok clips used in this video. All the clips are edited to them and used it today as news, commentary, and education purpose only. So let's get in.
Hey, Officer Tatum, what exactly is there to think through? You were asked whether communism or Jim Crow segregation did more damage to black people. And you said, I'd have to think that through, Naima. But the question was not which system caused more suffering throughout all of world history. The question was, which one of those things did more damage to black Americans? Black Americans did not grow up under a communist government. They grew up under Jim Crow segregation. They was denied the vote. They were segregated by law. They were shut out of schools, neighborhoods, employment, and economic opportunity. They were terrorized for attempting to exercise rights that the Constitution was supposed to guarantee them. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who I'm a fan of, who was not a communist and did not believe in Marxism, understood exactly how America's injustice strengthened communism's appeal. You know what he said? Dr. King said in his Why I'm Opposed to the War in Vietnam speech, he said, "It is a sad fact that because of comfort, complacency, a morbid fear of communism, our proneness to adjust to injustice, the Western nations that initiated so much of the revolutionary spirit of the modern world have now become the arch anti-revolutionaries, and this has driven many to feel that only Marxism has a revolutionary spirit. Therefore, communism is a judgment against our failure to make democracy real. And our only hope today lies in our ability to recapture the revolutionary spirit and go out into a sometimes hostile world, declaring eternal hostility to poverty, racism, and militarism." This is what I mean when I say the radical right loves to select when they care about history. Cut it out. Stop the BS. This is why people are embarrassed by black conservatives. 100%. And as a black conservative, that I will never reject the truth. You did?
So, if you have been following this whole Nolan Wells situation lately, you know, there's been a lot of developments like within the last week. So, if you've really been paying attention, then you know about Officer Tatum. I've known about Officer Tatum for a long time because he's a tap dancing fucking raccoon. And I can't even begin to tell you how much I hate this guy. And I'm using this word. I'm not using it lightly. I mean, I fucking hate his guts. I hate this guy. So, but anyway, he's been running around here acting like, I mean, basically playing defense for the white boys that were with Nolan Wells, right? And he is like, he don't went out and he don't did interviews with them. He's going around doing going around the talk show circuit. I mean, he's going anywhere that they can take him to play defense for the white boys, right? And so I have a theory why he's doing this. Um, even if those boys are found to be involved with Nolan Wells' death, what Officer Tatum is doing is it that doesn't even matter. The bigger thing that he's trying to do is Officer Tatum is auditioning. He wants to be America's next top coon. And even though I'm making a joke about that, it's very lucrative to be a coon. Like Candace Owens used to be America's top coon, and now she's been, moving away, and they don't kind of fell out with her because she's been coming after Erica Kirk. So Candace Owens used to be their top coon, and now they don't sort of fell out with her. Now they need somebody to replace her, and I'm telling you, Officer Tatum is applying to be America's next top coon, because even if he's wrong, completely wrong about these boys, and these boys were involved with Nolan Wells, it doesn't even matter, because what the racist whites will see is they will see Officer Tatum out here running interference, playing defense, doing everything in his power. And let me tell you, this guy is going so hard. He's going harder for these white boys than the blatant racists do. I mean, he is just going all out for these white boys. But it's not. It has nothing. I mean, yes, he's trying to. It ain't a white man he won't lick. But the bigger thing that he's trying to do is he's auditioning. He wants to be the top coon. He wants to be their top coon. So anytime they need for somebody to come out here and talk shit about black people, he's going to be their go-to guy. And that's what he's auditioning for.
Interpersonal racism. Can black people be racist?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you're just wrong.
So Officer Tatum whooped on some fools at the Jubilee debate, and he spoke about the degradation of black culture, right? And I truly, after seeing this debate, think it's the degradation of culture and intellect, right? Because a lot of the things that you see, the liberal jargon that you see being thrown around in pro-black communities, right, in academia and everything, was completely just mowed down by Officer Tatum's logic and reasoning, right? Trying to get black folk to hold themselves accountable for the things going on in the community, and everyone wanted to keep, railing it back to historical context and how things are tied to this and tied to this and tied to this, when you can actually see in the modern day no one is taking action regardless of the systems that were in place in the past. So I like that Officer Tatum was actually able to get in there, smack them around, and completely wipe the floor, annihilating their pseudoscience and all the justifications that they utilized to be able to have disdain for America. That's all it's about. It's not about wanting to get the community better with them. It's about, here's why I don't like the country, here's another reason why I don't like the country, and here's why you shouldn't like the country either.
Officer Tatum is a coon in 4K. I hope y'all enjoyed the entertainment of this fool. Maybe y'all will take heed to your grandmother's line when she says all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Your grandmama was right. We have always had this issue in the black community. It goes back to Malcolm X's breakdown of the house Negro and the field Negro. It goes back even further than that. Every culture has its group of cowards. And that's what Officer Tatum is. A coward, AKA a coon in 4K. I love you, black man. I love you, black woman. Knowledge is power. Power to the people.
This is the reason why I always side-eye Black Republicans.
I feel like we're completely jumping over history. We go from slavery to Martin Luther King, then all the way back. We ignore the history of sharecropping, right? We've completely glossed over sharecropping. We've completely glossed over Jim Crow laws and how much wealth was stolen from the Black community. We've completely glossed over the Tulsa race riots. And when Black people did succeed under capitalism, those communities were destroyed. We've completely glossed over eminent domain and how much of the Black community was taken, like literal Black.
Let's talk about.
Like, what about Seneca Village?
Let's talk about Black Wall Street.
Communities?
Let's talk about Black Wall Street. Are we on the same page of what happened in the Tulsa riots, Tulsa race war?
It depends. What do you think happened?
Well, I know what happened. There was a conflict between Black and white people. There was a fight between the two. White people got the best of Black people in Tulsa.
Then no, we are not on the same page.
Well,
no.
let me finish, and you tell me where I'm wrong. In that fight, there was a lot of Black businesses destroyed in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They rebuilt, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years later, and they begin to continue to succeed. Is that not factual?
No.
What's the truth? What happened then?
I mean, the truth is that a community of successful Black people who were succeeding under capitalism were directly targeted because
they were not
of
directly
that
targeted. It was a conflict.
Yes.
It was a conflict between a Black man, I believe it was a Black man.
It started when a Black man was accused of lynching,
no,
or not lynching, was accused of raping a woman. And then because of that, there was this anger and a mob started.
Inappropriate behavior with a woman. There was a conflict that occurred. The first shots rang out from Black people, shooting and killing several white people.
So how many Black people were killed in total?
Oh, I don't know how many Black people were killed in total. I just know Black people fired the first shot.
Can I tell you? It was 300.
How many white people were killed?
Like a low
how many
estimate.
White people were killed?
Not as many, because it was a riot against the Black community.
What happened was white people came up into Tulsa, Oklahoma. It became a violent confrontation, and white people overran the Black people in that confrontation.
Can I ask you, because it kind of feels like you're defending the race rioters.
I'm not defending any race rioters. I'm saying it's a conflict that happened.
Can you acknowledge that this is one example in which white people hurt Black people unjustly?
You're saying.
Can you just say this is one?
What you're trying to say is that Black people are doing their own thing, and a bunch of white people just came up and destroyed all their property just because. Yes. That wasn't what happened. It was a conflict. It was a conflict that occurred that caused that to happen.
But you know the KKK existed, right?
They did.
Yes, white supremacy exists, and that was in the South. Where's Oklahoma? I
didn't say that white supremacy don't exist. We're not arguing.
Yes, that was the point, though.
I'm not arguing that the Ku Klux Klan didn't have a negative effect in the Black community. We're not arguing that.
But that's what we are arguing. The whole point of this prompt is that Black people hurt the Black community more than white people. So, and these are some examples of white people hurting the Black community. And every time I give you one, you say no.
Let's give an example.
I just finished watching the Jubilee surrounded video of Officer Brandon Tatum debating 20 Black liberals. And the big takeaway for me in that debate was a portion of when he was debating a history teacher. And thinking about debating that history teacher, you would basically assume that the history teacher is well read. And so there was a portion where the history teacher is making his argument based off a book he's reading about a specific topic about Black people in America society today. And so it gets to a point where Officer Brandon Tatum is debating him back, but it was clear that he had not read this book. And so the history teacher stops and pauses and says, "Have you read this book?" And Officer Brandon Tatum says, "No." And that was the portion where it was like, so then why are you debating something that you have not read? And that was my aha moment in that debate, that this man was going to continue to argue left, right, front, and center about so many topics when he's probably not even read most of the things that he's debating on.
So if you're easily offended as a Republican, get out. This video ain't for you. This is my problem with what I would call the performative Black conservative. People like Officer Tatum, especially when we talk about the Nola Wells case. With some Black conservatives, it feels like every single problem in Black America gets reduced to Black people did it to themselves. No history, no context, no nuance. Here's what those type of Republicans refuse to acknowledge. There is a reason that some Black Americans wonder whether race played a role when you have a young Black man surrounded by white Americans and he ends up dead under circumstances people have questions about. That doesn't mean you automatically accuse somebody of racism. It means you understand why the question gets asked. So we have to remember that America does have a racial history. Pretending that racism never existed or pretending that history has absolutely no effect on how people interpret situations today is intellectually dishonest, and that's my issue with Officer Tatum. He seems to apply race selectively. When black people bring up race, suddenly everybody's playing the victim. Y'all are playing the victim card. But then race becomes perfectly relevant when it supports whatever political point he wants to make. You cannot have it both ways. You can love America and still admit that America has flaws. You can also reject victimhood, which I do, without pretending injustice never happens, Officer Tatum. That's why this conversation between people like Tatum and D.L. Hughley gets so heated. Black people do not need conservatives constantly lecturing us about how terrible we supposedly are as people. What we need is honesty. And honesty means rejecting racial paranoia while also refusing to act like racism just magically disappeared. Because that is not how it happened in history. That is not how it's happening today. Keep the BS out the way. UD.
Yeah, and I just watched Officer Tap Dance on Jubilee. Yeah, keep that coon shit away from me. Nope. I don't think I can keep my composure to hear somebody say, well, you know, slavery wasn't really based on race. I would be one of those black ignorant people that y'all talk about, because I think off of a knee-jerk reaction, I would just reach across the table, right? And the brother tried to be nice about it and say, well, you know, chattel slavery. Then he kept saying, no, well, slavery. No, he said chattel slavery. Well, slavery, You see? That's how they play with you. That boy got the Neanderthal spirit in him. Nope, can't do it. And don't y'all ladies get tired from tap dancing? Y'all feet don't get tired from tap dancing? And I thought he was a tap dancer like Candace Owens is a tap dancer, right? No. He goes far past that. He's like a supreme tap dancer. He's a supreme chronologist. Then he said the Tulsa Race Massacre, that was just a little incident between black people and white people. Excuse me, sir? Yeah, and afterwards, they just rebuilt. No, afterwards, they systemically railroaded these people into poverty and completely wiped the place out. Every time they tried to rebuild, they kept destroying it. And the Tulsa Race Massacre happened off of the false allegations of a white woman. And on top of that, when they was absolutely dismantled and they tried to get their money out of the banks did not even try to help them and kept all of their money.
You act like it's a good thing for black people to be selling drugs in our community. It is not.
What is the leading cause of the separation of black families?
I think it's a degradation of values in the black community.
Would you say that the criminalization, black men disproportionately going to jail more, has an effect on the separation of the black household?
I would agree to that, but I'll also say that is because of the choices and decisions that these young black men are making.
Perfect, thank you. I was hoping you would say that. So,
is that not true? You don't go to jail. You go to jail for selling drugs.
Okay, you go to jail for selling drugs. Can I read you a quote from Nixon's domestic policy chief, John Ehrlichman? This is at the start of the war on drugs, which we know is what led to a lot of mass incarceration of the black community, a significant increase in black men imprisoned and incarcerated for drug possession and selling, right?
Okay, hold on.
So
I'm gonna let you quote it. Okay. But we do recognize that there was decisions that were made by black people to sell drugs.
Absolutely. Now, can I read you the quote? This is John Ehrlichman, Nixon's domestic policy chief, right? He's responsible for primarily leading the war on drugs. We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the Vietnam War or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities.
I'm not familiar with that quote.
Oh, really?
But
shocking.
I can go and read it later, but that's still
you
not.
You should really read it later.
That's not getting to the point of saying that people are incarcerated because decisions that they made to commit crimes. Is that not true?
Well, yes, that's
the reason that none of us. The reason that none of us.
The reason that none of us.
The reason that none of us are selling dope. Why? Because we don't want to go to prison. We value our lives. If you are going to sell drugs and you're going to kill people and you're going to commit robbery, you're going to go to jail.
Yes,
you can't blame all of that on the war on crime or whatever the case may be.
But the war on crime was specifically to get black men to go to jail.
It is nothing wrong.
They literally
it is nothing wrong with imposing laws that help our community. You act
How
like,
does that help our community?
Let me explain. You act like it's a good thing for black people to be selling drugs in our community. It is not. So when you go to jail for selling drugs, in my opinion, and I think the opinion of anybody that's rational, that is a benefit to the black community.
Diva,
by
in
getting
this quote,
drug dealers,
says,
criminals off the street, and our communities to be able to thrive. our property value to be able to go up, these people need to go to jail.
Dude,
that's not a negative.
Okay, I hear you, thank you. But literally, the domestic policy chief is saying we could disrupt those communities. He is openly admitting. No. I let you talk a lot. I need you to let me speak.
You to clarify this.
No.
Disrupt these communities in what way? What is he saying? Disrupt the communities.
By heavily criminalizing.
To what go? To what end?
To hurt black people.
This debate is sparking a massive conversation all over the social media. But I want to hear from you. What do you think about Brandon Tatum's explanation? Drop your thoughts in the comment below. And thank you so much for watching. If you are new here, please can consider subscribe, like, share. Don't forget to leave a comment. And if you don't subscribe, but thank you so much for your support. Really, we appreciate. See you in the next episode.